I read it and I sent him a text back and I said, this is based on my story and I don't recognize a person in this script. And he said, great, this is how the process works. So I realized, wow, this is going to be a fun process. And it was. There were 8 different rewrites, and we had 2 or 3 different people coming in. And we wanted to get it right. We wanted to get the essence of Jeff and Tammy, and certainly in the first episode, to lay out who these people are. And we're talking 30 years ago. This is from the ages of 31 to 40. And the arc of the story will be, hopefully, and again, why you want to control creative is because the arc will lead to redemption and restoration by Christ.
Who gave me a podcast? This is Jeff Allen. Welcome to my podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is Jeff Allen. Welcome to Who Gave Jeff Allen a Podcast? That's the quintessential question we are asking. We'll find you. We know you're out there. Anyway, today I'm going to be interviewing Claude Rains. For people who are not my age, I'll explain the joke. Claude Rains was the Invisible Man and played back in the day. So anyway, there's nobody here today. It's just me. I decided that maybe once every quarter that it would be just me. We would give you kind of an update of what's going on in my life and in my career. And there's a lot going on right now, thanks to you guys. You guys have really started coming out in big numbers, and I'm all over the country. I think, what do we have, like 80 dates on the books? 110 dates. See, like I said, 110 dates on the book. My manager's trying to kill me. But we are literally in every quadrant, every area of the country. Please go to the website, jeffallencomedy.com, and the calendar is right up there. Please, we'd love to see you out there. And it's better live. Trust me. I hear that every show. I stay out. I take pictures with people. And I sign books, and the one comment I hear repeatedly is it's a lot better live. So come on out, enjoy the show, and I will be there. And we have questions that we reached out to you guys, and I'm going to answer some of those questions. But I have a big announcement to make. As you all know, I wrote a book a couple of years ago called Are We There Yet? We have been working for 2 years to secure a pilot episode based on the book for a dramedy series. We're filming March 22nd in Nashville, Tennessee. We have cast it. A comedian named Jeff Dye is going to play me, my character, Jeff Allen. And then I'm going to play my father because they couldn't knock 30 years off this mug. I don't know why. You think with all the tricks they have in Hollywood, they could have done that, but they're not. I'm going to play my father. Tammy, here's a funny story. The actress, Sarah Zanotti, who's playing Tammy, wanted to meet Tammy because she's a method actor. She wanted to get Tammy's essence. I said, watch what you wish for. So anyway, I go to Tammy and I tell her, Sarah wants to meet you. She wants to get to know you because she's got to play you in this series. And Tammy said, that's ridiculous. I said, well, it's not your method, it's hers. So, and it really dawned on me talking to my wife about this. I get the impression when Tammy was a little girl, she did not play well in sand with other children. That's just my take on it after 40 years. I said, be kind. Do her a prop, do her a favor, have lunch with her, 30 minutes, just have a sandwich. Let her talk to you, make some notes, and you have contributed to the show. She said, fine. She goes to lunch, 4-hour lunch. She came home crying. It was the daughter I never had. My God, we were hugging and holding it. Anyway, so Sarah Zanotti is going to play Tammy. If you're familiar with the show Justified, the guy that played Art, the head marshal, is going to play Tammy's father. And we're still waiting to hear about the woman that's going to play my mom, my wife, Arlene. But anyway, it's cast. We're taping March 22nd here in Nashville. And I will tell you this, if you never see the show, you know the pilot sucked. So that's how it works. So that's another 340 $400,000 paperweight. I shouldn't put this out because we have investors that we should wait until we film this thing. So anyway, but that's March 22nd. So hopefully we'll have a show on the air, a television show, and we got some questions about that going forward. So I got live shows, live events I'm going out. The podcast, you're watching it now or listening to it. Thank you. We really need your help on this. Share it, subscribe, hit the button, comment, positive, negative. We just take it all. We want your feedback, and we do listen to it. I don't adhere to it, but I listen to it, or read it actually. And anyway, we'll get to some questions here. These are random audience questions. I love this one. What joke have you told for years that still makes you laugh every time? You go, that's a simple one. It's the God's revenge. Teenagers are God's revenge on mankind. I believe teenagers are God's revenge on mankind. It's like God himself looked down over his creation and said to himself, let's see how they like it to create someone of their own image who denies their existence. And you know, the Bible never mentions how old the devil was when he rejected God's authority. My guess, 16. Devil got his driver's license and drove to Georgia. That's all I know. And he was one heck of a fiddle player. I love telling that joke. I don't tell it because most of the audience has heard it 100 times. So if you haven't heard it, yeah, that's on you. Do you ever, what's one struggle you didn't realize and had until you got older? Oh, God, I've struggled my whole life. I have, there's not one. I have a plethora of, I don't know who said it. Somebody wise said that we spend our childhood just gathering things up and putting them into a big bag on our back. And the lucky ones, as they go through adult life, empty the bag. So I've been emptying my bag for 70 years, or 50 years. I don't know, whatever it is. If you could sit down with your 25-year-old self for coffee, what would you say first? Read the Bible. That's what I would say. I didn't get to that until I was 30, 31, but that's what I would say. Read the Bible. What do I think my audiences come to my shows for? Laughs or relief? That's a great question. I think it's both. I think laughter creates relief. I've been working on this. Did you know laughter releases endorphins? Endorphins, body's morphine. So I need to laugh. So what I do, because I heard about the runner's high. Have you heard about the runner's high? But you have to run like 8 to 10 miles to get the endorphins. So I watch videos of runners, and I laugh at them, and I get endorphins. So anyway, that's the way I look at it. What's something about aging that has surprised you in a good way? Losing my hair. I love it. Tammy cuts my hair with dog clippers, So it's and hair. Believe me, I don't know. I do look at young people with hair, and I think, wow, they got to. And it's funny. That's the first thing I notice, like on an Olympic athlete. Wow, he's got great hair. That quad god, that guy. He really messed up. But you know what? He has great hair. I mean, he'll do fine in life. He looks great with the hair. And I tried to imagine him 20 years from now, bald, because that's what's going to happen. That's my prayer anyway. Is it wrong to pray that people lose their hair? That have beautiful Adonis hair that just flows when they skate? Anyway, I'm taping this during the Olympics. So, these are questions about the pilot show. When people watch this pilot, what do you hope they understand about your life that they don't see on stage? Well, I'm telling you, it's going to probably... I always tell people to buy the book, read it, so when the pilot comes out, you can go, it's nothing like the book, because that's usually what happens. You read a book. We're going to try and get it right. That's year 2000, I think it was. I did a pilot for Castle Rock based on my stand-up. It was called Happy Wife, Happy Life. And don't worry, you'll never see it again. If the pilot sucks, you don't see it. But we did a pilot based on that, and what happened was I didn't realize until the process was over. that I got played by the suits in Hollywood. I would go to them as a creative. I am fairly creative, and it was based on my stand-up. So I thought I had a voice in the creation of this product. And I would go in with ideas. We'd be rehearsing, and I'd go, wait a minute, I got a line that fits here that'll get a laugh. And that's, again, I was naive to think that a sitcom was about getting laughs. So anyway, I'd go in and I'd tell the guy, the producer, the writer, and I didn't realize writers are dictators. They really are. They write, and then you adhere to whatever they say. There's no dialogue back and forth. I didn't know this. So he would pat my hand, as most passive aggressives do, and he would tell me, this is a great idea, and he would jot a note down. And I realized after we shot the pilot, not one of my ideas got in it. I had no idea. I looked at my manager and I said, we're done. This is it. This is my big break. And anyway, it really was not very good. And obviously, it didn't get picked up. And I said to my whole team, if this ever happens again, where I get the opportunity to tell a story in a television form, I'm going to do whatever I can to control the creative side of it, which means you got to raise your own money. And we did. We raised the money. And the first draft of the script came in from the writer producer, and I think we had RJ on the show. So RJ Mueller, we had him on our podcast. I read it and I sent him a text back and I said, this is based on my story and I don't recognize a person in this script. And he said, great, this is how the process works. So I realized, wow, this is going to be a fun process. And it was. There were 8 different rewrites, and we had 2 or 3 different people coming in. And we wanted to get it right. We wanted to get the essence of Jeff and Tammy, and certainly in the first episode, to lay out who these people are. And we're talking 30 years ago. This is from the ages of 31 to 40. And the arc of the story will be, hopefully, and again, why you want to control creative is because the arc will lead to redemption and restoration by Christ. So now you got to cast a comedian in this that will understand that. Not every comic would be comfortable with Christian or Christ or faith when we cast Jeff Dye, one of the first questions, are you okay with? And it turns out he was raised in Young Life. And he's a Christian, so that helps. So then you go, okay, well, the stand-up comedy has to be good. So now you got to get a comic that can act. So it's been a long process, but it was a wonderful process for me because I felt like I was in charge of this. So in the end, if it falls flat on its face, I own it. It's mine, and I'm willing to put, I put my money up in this. So I invested in the project because it's important to me that that the story gets told and it gets told properly with all its warts, which leads to what platform will it go on. There's parts of this will be uncomfortable for the Angel platform because to tell it properly, there might be some language issues. There might be some attitude, the way Jeff treats Tammy in those seasons and in the early episodes. It's not going to be pretty. So then we sit and we have these discussions about how do we create a character that people like. You're not going to like Jeff, So it's like, at what point do they root for Jeff? Because you're not going to watch a show where you hate the lead character or you don't like him or you dislike him. So there has to be these heartbeats, these things that are breathed into the character that people kind of root for. Oh man, okay, he's going, and then he falls, and you want to root for that. I do, So it's a balancing act that I think we hit. I really do. We had production companies that were interested in it. They carried us along for a ways, and then at the last minute they said, well, you know what, it's not right for us right now. We have studios that are interested in seeing the finished product. That will come on you guys. If you hear about it and it comes out and you share it and you follow it and you watch it. Obviously, numbers drive the growth of something. So the arc of the series is based on the book. The characters are based on the book, but with the addition of Nick Searcy coming in to play Mike, Tammy's dad, that will create some different dynamics that are certainly not in the book. The book will not carry 3 seasons. But the story I want told is that you're never too far from Christ. You're never gone, and your marriage is never over till it's over. And there are irreconcilable differences. I'm not naive. I think what really saved our marriage was what drove it apart, was me being gone all the time. But I also think that saved it. If I was home 24/7, 365, I don't think we would have made it. We had those breathing times that I was gone, and I realized at some point I do miss her, and I think she missed me. And, it was just 2 really broken, wounded people that got, we made it, and we're still broken, we're still wounded, but, there's a lot of humor in that, and we will make you laugh, but hang in there. And anyway, I hope that explains it. How closest to real life is the show going to be, and what are you protecting? Well, if I told you what I was protecting, I wouldn't be protecting it anymore. Oops, I think it's going to be as close to those years. It's not what it is today. We hope to get to what it looks like today. Tammy, I interviewed her here. That's kind of what it is today. We talk about, our pillow talk is talking about who's going to die first. Yeah, where her ashes are going to be. So this is important. She actually thinks she's going to die before me, which it's a shame when I die before her. I can't come back and go, I told you. It's just, you're gone. Wow. What do you feel exposed or honored that your life is becoming a show? I'm out the other end on a lot of that. I'm out the end on that guy. That guy is as foreign to me as a stranger is to me. I can look back on it. It humbles me. I hope. I was going to write a book, Humility, and how I achieved it. Can you write books on humility? I know they're out there. I know people have written books on how to be humble. But anyway, but that guy that you're going to see in season 1 is as foreign to me as any stranger on the street. I don't know that guy, but I'm connected to him. I know it was hard. I know when Tammy read the book, I don't know if I shared this on the podcast, but she read 2 chapters, came out of the bedroom crying and said, I can't read anymore. We were horrible people. I said, well, finish the book. We turned out okay. So it's a 30-year disconnect from who we were back then, and I don't know if I did I do the poem on the podcast? Oh, well, I wrote this poem probably 6 months into my faith, walking with Christ. Who I was is not who I am. Today I choose to walk a different path. So feel free to throw at me the stones of my past. I will not deny them, but gladly receive them and use them to humble me. For today my shield is the Lord. And it's because of who he was and the blood that he shed. I no longer have to run from my past. Anyway, I wrote that. And that's the truth now. I don't have to run from my past. I can embrace it. I know who I was, and it's not who I am. And so the show itself will be I'm hoping it'll be a joy to do. It'll be fun. Playing my father, are you kidding me? Jack? I get to play Jack. That's going to be fun. Who do you picture watching this show? I hope everybody. I hope, I can tell you this, the first season might not be for I hope teenagers watch it. I hope teenagers get into it. But other than that, you're going to have to answer some questions, and you might not want to answer them. Who's that mean man, Mommy? Why is he so mean? But also, they may be living in this. You guys, it's not a unique story. So it may be uncomfortable to watch if you're in the middle of all of that, but I hope you understand that there's a way out. What does success for this pilot actually look like to you? Wow, that's great. Success would be it gets aired, it gets on the air, and we tell a great story. That to me is the most important thing. It's not, I was told years ago, 3 things will drive you in this business: the desire for recognition, the desire for money, or the desire to do quality work. Any one of those always comes down to quality work. If you want to be recognized, you better do something of quality. You want to be, famous, quality. You want money, quality. So I've always wanted to do good work. I've always tried to put as much effort into my stand-up comedy as I could, because that to me is one. That's the joy. I wouldn't be doing 110 dates in a year if I didn't love what I do. The traveling, all the other stuff gets to be a little much. Being away from Tammy now, we do kind of like each other now, so it's hard to be away from her. But when I hit that stage and I get to meet you guys after the show and stuff, it edifies my soul, and so I hope they recognize it and we do quality work. I hope it gets recognized as a quality show. I hope people look at it and go, we've lived that. We've gotten out of it. I hope people share it. I hope it's a good enough story that people share with friends and families of theirs, which is what art should do. It should edify a part of your soul, but it should also feed your mind as well. So we're hoping to, and it'll be based in the 90s, so there'll be a lot of Clinton jokes. We figured that was a safe topic. No, it won't be. So anyway, but it is based in the 90s, which I think is really kind of a cool decade. I lived it. And there's some great comedy that will come from there because of we're now living in 2026. So the fact that in the pilot episode, I have a pager because I think cell phones are a fad, Anyway, that's kind of my business acumen. Who needs a copier machine when you got carbon paper, So if this show gets picked up and millions of people see your life, what changes? I don't know. Millions of people have seen my life. My stand-up comedy is based on all of that. So I don't think anything changes. I think today, I don't know, I've not ever been in that stratosphere where you can't go out to a meal or you can't go. I've never been there. I probably will never get there. I don't know what that's like, but I don't see that changing. Again, it would edify my soul to have you come up at an airport and just go, we watched your show, man, and we were in that spot, and it got us through that spot, and I was raised in a church. I got away from the church, and that story about your redemption, it got me to open that book again, and that would mean more to me than anything else. Is the show more about comedy or redemption? That's a great question. We're going to go for the laugh, but we're also going to go for the heart, and I think, again, good art should feed your soul at some level. So I think the redemption part of it, but that's really probably not till season 1, 2.5. That first year is going to be the demons. It begins at a parking lot in a church and at an AA meeting, and it ends in that same parking lot. The season will end in that parking lot where Jeff goes to his first AA meeting. And I think the line in the pilot is, why do they have to be at churches? I hate church. And Tammy says, I don't think 3 DUIs is going to be the worst story you're going to hear in there. So anyway, I gave you a glimpse into the pilot. So these are deep, reflective questions for me. I hope I don't go too deep. I'll drown. Does it scare you at all to have your life permanently documented through a TV show? Again, we're going to take creative license. I don't necessarily know if it's not a straight line through my life. So we'll, like stand-up comedy, this may shock you, but some of the stories I tell I've made up. What? I remember, here's a story. I made up a 3rd kid. Some of you may have been fans of mine that long. Remember, I had 3 kids. And I had 2 DVDs came out. I had 3 kids. The joke was phenomenal. I can't quite do it justice now, but it was about the brownie joke. About we'd get all excited and run to our bed. We had brownies in our nightstand. That was it. We had brownies in our nightstand and muffins. So we'd get excited late at night, run down the hall holding hands, and our kids thought we were doing something else, but we were just under the covers eating brownies and laughing at them. So you hit 60, your life gets pathetic. I mean, it really does. So anyway, then later on in the show, I did a joke where I said, I have 3 children. We gave them biblical names, Aaron, Jacob, and Satan. And they're 12, 11, and 2. We ran out of brownies one night. Isn't that a great joke? Yeah. I told it for years. So anyway, the 3rd DVD comes out, and I got 2 kids, which is what I have. And people were emailing me and messaging me, did the baby die? Should we pray for the baby? And I go, oh, cow. And my manager calls me. He goes, you got to say something. People are all over Facebook. They're worried about your kid. So I came out, put a video out. I go, I made them up. It's not a documentary. I mean, it's comedy. I went for the joke. And people were angry.
They were so upset Satan died.
I know. It's that Satan died. And they were upset that I call him Satan. I go, I made him up. He doesn't exist. I can call him whatever I want. But yeah, so anyway, little insight.
His real name is
Lucifer. Yeah, his real name is Beelzebub. Beelzebub. So it's scaring me through documentation. No. Now, Tammy might have a different story about it. She may see some episodes where Sarah portrays her in a way, and she may take it personally. I don't know. That's between her and Sarah, not me. I'm not getting involved in it. Is there anything you're still healing from that you're unsure about putting on screen? Yeah. Well, if I told you, I wouldn't be sure of it anymore. But yeah, we'll cross those bridges when we get to it. I think. But yeah, there's again, we're going to try to give an honest portrayal of what being married to an alcoholic and a drug addict is like. And believe me, people get married for a reason. It's a two-way street. Addicts and their codependents fit like gloves. So Tammy had her issues, which we won't discuss here. She had a chance. We had her in the chair. She didn't discuss her issues. So if one 45-year-old man watches this and changes his life, is that enough? If the goal was to change people's life, again, to me, life changing is in God's hands, not my hands. I hope we honor Him through what we do in our art, and if we do, I believe hearts will be changed. But hearts, we all know, can be evil. We all know that a heart contains a lot of bad things. So when people say follow your heart, well, that kind of got me into waking up next to dumpsters in my own waste. So. So my heart can be a problem. So we hope that it edifies mind, heart, and you kind of meld it together, and then you give your mind and heart to Him, to God, the one that authored your life. And when you get that in and you get into there, then you basically stumble, fall, step into grace the rest of your life. You stumble, fall, stand up, and then gradually the time between stumbles and falls gets farther apart. But you never give up on accepting that grace, because that's when your life gets bitter and cold. So learn to accept God's grace and love. And anyway, are you trying to entertain people or rescue people? Entertain people. We're not naive. It's a television show. So if you need help, I would suggest getting out. Nobody can do this alone. Nobody. I don't know anybody. The idea of the Marlboro man, this loner out there on his horse and doing life by himself is nonsense. We are a community, and find a community that edifies you and builds you up. There's a lot of communities that will tear you down. And then you have to ask yourself, why am I involved in this community? My son, when he was really little, surrounded himself with people that they were not kind to him. And I remember sitting in bed with Tammy more than once going, what have we done to our son that this is where he thinks these are his friends? Because that's on us, to an 8-year-old, 7-year-old who surrounds himself with people that hurt him, So we worked on that and getting him involved in a community and understanding that his life was valuable enough to surround himself with people who loved him and valued him as who he was. So we're not there to rescue people, but through our entertaining, we hope it gets you to think and maybe understand that this community that we're in, we have a nation, we have a community, we have a state, we have a neighborhood, we have a town, we have a neighborhood, and then we have a block. And we need to reach out and be part of the community, small, medium, large, whatever. So anyway, you want a better country, be a better person, because it always comes down to your home. What kind of home are you living in? Anyway, if the show never gets, it sounds preachy, doesn't it?
In a good way.
In a good way.
Do you want to tell them about the big venue?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, one last thing. This is a good question. If the show never gets picked up, well, it sucked. So what would you want God to have done with the attempt? Not beat myself up over the attempt, because I'll be laying in the fetal position in my living room. Why do you hate me? So we have a big announcement, other than the television show, which we're hopefully, once we shoot the pilot and it gets edited and all that stuff, and then we shop it around, and I hope we have an announcement on that. But what we have, an announcement, 1996, when Tammy and I moved to Nashville, again, this is documented in the book. Our marriage was just kind of getting on track. We were just kind of a new beginning. We moved to Nashville in 1996, and we were brand new to our faith. I had just said yes to Christ, and we were trying to figure out what that looked like and what our marriage was going to look like going forward. I had a friend in town here that managed Amy Grant and Michael W. Smith and Gary Chapman, his management company. And he's a big fan of comedy. We became good. We're still good friends. Chaz, we tried to get him on the show. He hates me. He's not coming on the show. So if you're watching this, Chaz, it's on you, pal. So anyway, he gets me into the Ryman Auditorium, just backstage. Gary Chapman did a show. Who we got to get on? That's one. I'll reach out to Gary personally. So anyway, Gary gets me on his show, Sunday night show at the Ryman. Sam's Place is what it was called. Sam Ryman built the Ryman Auditorium. And by the way, if you ever come to Nashville, do the tour. It's an amazing. It was built as a church, and acoustically, I heard this. I don't know if it's true or not, but they told me when I got there that acoustically, next to the Mormon Tabernacle in America, there's no better acoustic room than the Ryman Auditorium. And they describe it as if you walk across the stage. It was this church, so the pulpit was in the center. And if you walk across the stage in your normal speaking voice, just talking, when you hit where the pulpit was in the center of that stage, your voice will fill that entire auditorium, just speaking. That's how acoustically sound it is. Elvis performed there. Name it, Johnny Cash. I mean, anybody. It's a cathedral. So I'm backstage, and at some point, Chaz comes to me, and he says, "You want to go up and do 5 minutes?" And believe me, I'm telling you, I'm coming out of comedy clubs. I'm coming off a period of my life where I wanted to get out of comedy. I wanted to quit. And this was a come to Jesus moment in our home where Tammy grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and said, "You're a stand-up comic, for gosh sakes, fire your agent," which I did. And this is what you're going to do with your life. I'm tired of, I was on the fence for a lot of years. Do I want to do this? Somebody in the room should know what that feels like, and finally, and Stephen was your Tammy. Stephen came to you. So anyway, she's like a daughter to me. So anyway, Tammy, when it comes backstage, we're backstage, and I do my 5 minutes, and it was magic. And Tammy was in tears when I got off. She said, "I never thought I'd see you in a place like this. It's a special place." So, driving home that night, I told Tammy, I said, I don't know why, but I said, I'm going to come back at some point, and I'm going to headline this room. It's going to be my audience. They're going to come here to see me. didn't think I'd get this emotional.
It's beautiful.
Well, anyway, last Wednesday I was sitting at home watching the Olympics, and my manager texted me. He said, "Are you available?" And I texted him back, "I am." And he said, "Make sure you're sitting down." And that means either good news or bad news, you know. So anyway, he called me, and I said, "Tell me it's good news." He goes, "Oh, you're going to love this." He said, "We just booked you at the Ryman Auditorium in 2027. You are the kickoff act for the 2027 Nashville Comedy Festival at the Ryman. That's thanks to you guys. So all we got to do is sell 2,200 tickets." So I'm already filled with anxiety over that. And anyway, I guess I thank you, each and every one of you. You've given us a life that we never knew was possible, and we are grateful. So next April, Ryman Auditorium, we will certainly announce when the tickets go on sale. So if you've ever planned a trip to Nashville, next April would be a good time to come. It's spring, the weather's great. The Ryman is an absolutely once-in-a-lifetime trip. I'm telling you, you need to do the tour in the afternoon. It's a special place. And 5 o'clock, I think, is the show, so my people will come. You can drive home, and the sun won't be down. And that's it. I hope if you made it all the way to here, I thank you for that. And God bless you. We'll see you out there. Check the website. Nordic Wave, I'm still pitching it. I don't think we've sold one, have we? I don't think so. So obviously my audience not wanting to sit in freezing cold water. We're going to have to find some sponsors. If you have a company out there, you know somebody who owns a company that would like to sponsor, to be a sponsor on the show, I would love to have you. It'll have to be a product that I actually use, and because I lie on stage all the time. I make up stories, but I will not pitch something that I don't believe in. So, anyway, and we're looking for sponsors. We are Carolyn, our producer, Christian, our board guy. I keep forgetting every week to mention him. He's a real godsend, and he's recently engaged. So enjoy the ride, Christian, and it is a ride. Enjoy it, and breathe every day. Breathe, because whatever you think it's going to be, not even close. God bless you guys, man, and we'll see you out there.